Hey everyone, I know I'm doing like a full gaming vlog tomorrow, and even if Sterling has not touched on this current situation, and with WB Games being this close to collapsing as like a dying star, or I certainly will be. Hey, but before I get into that, I thought I would talk about something much more pleasant. Hence, and now that we have more footage and release window, depending on which stream you watched me, and it's even more clear. There's just so much I didn't even touch on fully yet that I just had to continue. So, I present further thoughts on Pokemon on Legend ZA coming in this later this year here to Switch family. So let's begin. There is honestly a lot going on that I did not fully touch on my Pokemon Presents reaction. So I thought I would focus mainly on things I did not hear. And they actually managed to amazingly spot well over 100 monsters in the this field alone, especially the starters. I will have to think about which one I'll go with, whether it ends up being Tepig or a Totodile. And to be fair, it's not even the first time the Legends and imprint swapped regions for theirs. Given how Oshawott and Cyndaquil are vacationing in Hisui instead, and I cannot say for certain if there will be variant and branch evolutions, but I could see them having in mega evolutions, seeing as how that feature is making a full comeback. I mean, after her more or less being relegated to other parts of the franchise. I also cannot not say I agree with the claims that the Lumios map is quote unquote tiny. If anything, the way I'm physically looking at it after 12 years, there's advance between that and X and Y. It's actually physically larger her, her than it was in X and Y, which makes sense given there's a lot more processing power at their disposal. And also seems to suggest that even though it's going to be the main hub of the Neutroversal feature, as with the wild zones, are going to be finding out ways of how to expand further or beyond the city. I mean, it's definitely going to be quite interesting how it plays out. As with the a tournament ladder they seem to be hinting at here at the very end, especially with no abilities, much like they were in or not any in Legends Arceus. It's definitely you can see how they play out, which will bring me to the one main feature I've been eager to talk about more, the new combat system. I especially like the integration of more active combat mechanics that builds upon not only what this Arceus did, but also has lineage in the franchises, his his links to the Shin Megami Tensei and Persona games where some commands are turn-based, but others require you to think on your feet more. We think there's a nice little balance between the two of them, where yes, the turn-based system is, as it stands, the core feature which has been iterated upon on for nearly 3 full decades, and much like how Mario has traversed all kinds of different environments in his lifetime, and the basic mechanics are a typical example of not broken, don't fix it in terms of games where, I mean, I simply don't see them suddenly deciding to make a looter shooter live service anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like some people who were made to or just decided to get into that market despite never having made one before, which would go about as well as one would expect. That, I mean, bottom line, I both Japanese role-playing games, such as the Mana franchise and the Tales of series, I mean, it'll make these kind of mechanics work, and especially in terms like Western role-playing games, just Skyrim, and The Witcher, 3. Hey, I mean, seriously, especially in the case of like the acclaimed success of like Baldur's Gate 3 and Nintendo's own Tears of the Kingdom, these kinds of mechanics are not your enemy at all. And I definitely can maintain that personally. I'm still not certain which one I will start with, but it seems that the Pokemon Center USA website is one of several retailers is going to be offering a randomized miniature plush as a creator bonus. So, given how the release date of late 2025 in the English-speaking streams and autumn in the Japanese stream, again also points to the pattern of like an October release date at the earliest, or at the very least, he's keeping the November pattern they've had in many years before. That's even been a window where the Mystery Dungeon and Detective Pikachu spin-off titles have done well, and I want to reiterate that with the presence of locations, characters, and mechanics from their respective regions, that the Legends titles are not spin-offs, unless the Pokemon Company and Game Freak themselves have confirmed they are indeed canon to the main games. All the same, I definitely intend to have this game in my hands on day one, on whenever that day ends up being, and wherever that day ends up rising. Anyway, that'll be all for now, and I will see you tomorrow with my this month's gaming vlog. So take care, everyone, and seek out all Pokemon.